Drinking this album, listen to the brews. I think it would pair well, if only for you, 'cause it's album reviews. It's album reviews.
Good evening. This is your co-host Sarah speaking. You're flying aboard the Rebrews 747. And this podcast is fully equipped with anything your body desires. Thanks for listening. My name is Sarah. Welcome.
Somebody say dance,
Dance.
music, sex,
Sex. My mom won't let me say that word.
Rebrews.
Rebrews.
Hey, I'm Zach. Thanks for tuning into Album Rebrews.
And I'm ready to party like it's 1999. This is Kira, a.k.a. Madam Reaper.
Heyo. Welcome to the show. Welcome to my couch.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be on the couch right now?
I wish the cat was here, honestly.
Oh, yeah. She'll come
Yeah.
back.
What, Moose?
Moose.
Yeah.
This has turned into Moose Watch. And I swear on my life, she will come back onto this couch because she gets in a lot of people's laps involuntarily.
Yeah.
For the listeners who can't see me, I'm moving my laptop, so if she wants to sit on my lap.
Yeah.
Very
She'll-
tempting.
Yeah.
Oh.
Very tempting.
So you play music under the name Madam Reaper?
Yes.
Madam _ Reaper on Instagram. And I see here right on the Instagram page that you play vampire synth pop.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I brand it.
Uh-huh.
My whole shtick is that I kill men, basically. I don't
Yes.
actually kill men in my real life, but a lot of the lore is built around that. So that's kind of where the vampire synth pop thing comes from.
Oh, I kind of love that. I didn't catch that from Listen in India.
Very femme fatale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the music doesn't really talk about it. It's more just like the persona I think about when I'm writing the music or when I'm on stage or when I'm thinking about like the marketing is that. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite vampire that in fiction?
Oh my God, that's such a good question. There's so many good ones.
There's a lot of good ones.
I really love the show What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I think my favorite, I mean, I want to say Nadja. She's the woman
Mhm.
just because she's a badass bitch. But I also love Colin Robinson. And every time I walk into a room of people I don't know, I go, hello. So it'll be a tie between those two.
Tie between the energy awkward vampire.
Yeah, because I embody both. So
That's very good. That's very good.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about this record you've picked for us today.
yeah,
And why you picked it.
So I picked 1999 by Prince, and it was hard for me to decide. I started by asking myself, what are some records that I can listen to front and back without wanting to skip a single song? That narrowed it down to 3. And then from there, I was like, okay, which of these do I feel like I can talk the most about? Has the biggest, I think a lot about music history. So like maybe the biggest historical impact, at least from my perspective. And so I landed on 1999, and I grew up in Minneapolis, St. Paul. So Prince was always like a really big cultural figure in my youth. And he's also been a big musical influence to me. I also think that he's like hands down one of the most amazing musicians to have ever lived. And there's a lot we can say about this album. So that's kind of why I chose it. All of those things together.
Hell yeah. And such a diva, too.
Oh my God.
Like, when I think of, like, stage presence and, like, a persona, like, mwah.
And it was all super calculated. Like he knew what he was doing. And I think that's what's really interesting about him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's such a cool...
His branding's like spot on. Like when you say Prince, I know the color purple. Like,
Did you see? I saw he has, like, an official Pantone shade.
Oh,
I think it was...
I did not know that.
assigned posthumously. I could be wrong. But I think it's called, like, Love Symbol Number 2. And it's, like, it's Prince purple. Like,
Yeah.
you look at it and you're like, oh, yeah, duh.
Cool.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this brand.
That's so sick.
Yeah. I went to school for marketing, so I'm like, this brand.
My day job is in corporate communications.
Oh,
so
stunning.
I understand.
Yeah.
How close is that purple to our drinks purple?
Oh, different.
It is different.
This is
Yeah.
a much lighter purple.
I like
They're
this
both
purple,
gorgeous.
though. This is a nice lavender.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Tell us about the drink you chose.
Right. So honestly, that also went into my album selection because I thought about doing The Strokes, Is This It? And I was like, I don't want to drink whatever would be associated with that album. So then I was like, okay, we could do Prince and we could do an Aviation, which is a purple drink. So it's perfect for Prince. It's a gin drink. It's very floral. And it's delicious.
It's
Yeah,
so yummy.
it's so bright and like hop notey. Is that the word I'm looking for?
I guess everything has top notes.
I'm definitely not a drink connoisseur,
Yeah.
but I'm like, it's not beer, which is one important thing for me.
Check.
And it's not way too sweet that I'm gonna feel like shit tomorrow. So
Yeah, no, this
passes.
feels very adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Prince would drink this.
I
It's definitely
concur.
cool.
Actually,
for
he
him
didn't
to
drink. But if he did drink,
Yeah. It would be pretty and classy and a little coupe. This was like prepping for this. I was so excited about recording today, and I still am.
Aw.
But like this album, such a vibe. This drink, so up my alley. It like I feel very blessed because like a couple episodes ago we were doing Limp Bizkit and Limerita Tallboys.
And that was a tough day for Sarah.
That was a tough day for me. So like I feel born anew today.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for bringing this energy.
You're very welcome. I won't say anything bad about Limp Bizkit.
You know what?
You can.
You can.
No.
I definitely did on air.
I won't.
Yeah,
I'll hold my mouth.
fair.
Which artist was that?
The screeners.
Screeners, yeah.
Yeah.
Darling band.
Yeah.
Just absolute angel sweetheart.
If I had chosen The Strokes, I would have been shitting on Limp Bizkit. But
Yeah. But hey, we're
we're
in
not
an
doing
upper
that.
echelon.
Yeah,
yeah, this is a different
This is
echelon.
elevated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We have our pinkies up the whole episode. Okay, well before we get into the tunage, I've got a game to play. How does that sound? You'll be playing against each other.
I'm a little
and,
nervous.
Oh man.
The name of this game is You Silly Goose, that's not when that song was released.
I know why you. Okay, I see what you're doing.
The album and the song 1999 by Prince were actually released in 1982. And I was thinking about this, like there are so many songs that were released in years that are not the year in the title, but they have a year in the title. And I was like, that's kind of silly. But then I was like, maybe it would be even sillier to write a song and be like today, and be like, it's 2024. Today is March 30th, 2024. And I'm writing this song. Like, that would be kind of goofy. But there are so many songs that reference other years and were
I'm gonna
released
be
in different years.
So bad at this.
These are all pretty well known.
All I can think about, I don't want to spoil it, is the Jonas Brothers tune.
Oh,
Because
that's
they
an
are
interesting
definitely not in
pull.
the year 3000.
They were not in the year 3000.
Wait, really?
Yeah, their asses were in
The
like
year
2005 or whatever.
2005.
Uh,
Not
Yeah.
even close to the year 3000.
I always thought they came from the future.
So I have a playlist of 6 songs, and you two are gonna play against each other. I'm gonna start playing the song just on Spotify. Whoever buzzes in first and tells me like the name of the song, the artist, like whoever kind of correctly identifies the song, gets a point. And if you want to go for a bonus point, you can tell me the year it was actually released. And if you're like close enough, I'll give you the bonus point, like give or take maybe 2 years.
Okay,
Cool.
cool.
Okay, here is the first song.
It's the Smashing Pumpkins.
Uh-huh.
Do I have to say the name of the song?
If you know it, it is in your
don't.
name.
It's
Oh.
1974?
No!
Oh. 1989?
That's closer, but not
It
the right-
definitely came out in the 90s?
It did come out in the 90s.
93?
Kira, I'll give you this. This is 1979 by the Smashing Pumpkins is the name of the song.
Okay.
It was released in 95.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
like, yeah.
okay.
I only know that because my roommates and I were just listening to this song.
Oh,
I
gorgeous.
would not have known it otherwise.
Okay, number next.
Wait, who got that point?
Oh,
You
got
definitely
both
got
of
both
them.
of them. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
Oh, yeah. You got it first. You got it
Cool,
first.
cool, cool.
Okay. Next.
I got my first real 6-string. Summer of 69.
Period. Yep.
Uh,
What year did it actually come out, Zach? This is like...
Wait, can I? No, I'm going to make a fool of myself.
it's
It's the 80s, right?
It is in the 80s.
Yeah, I think it's like 1984.
On the fucking money.
Nice.
Every time I hear
Wait,
this
who's the
song,
artist?
Is it Brian Adams?
it's Brian
Oh, okay, I couldn't
Adams.
think of the name Brian Adams.
Yeah,
That's
no.
I was going to
Every-
say Bruce Springsteen.
That's what I
Yeah,
always
that's
want to
what-
say.
I'm
Yeah.
glad that other people think
That's
that.
what I always
It's-
want to say.
It's same, but different.
Yeah, okay,
exactly.
cool, cool.
Exactly. Zach, good job. You got that sheesh. Next, you guys are neck and neck. Zach, we talked about this song on our podcast.
Once the lyrics come in, I'll know it. It's hard when there's pressure.
Yeah.
I know this song.
Yeah.
This song fucking rips. We can listen to this for as long as we can.
Is it Phoenix?
It is Phoenix.
Well, then I could guess when it came out, but
I don't know the name of the song. I don't need to know the name of the song though. Right? I get the point for the band.
I'll give you the point for the band.
did it come out in like 2002?
A little later.
Damn.
2003.
Much late.
Damn.
Much, but not a lot. Zach, I will give you one.
2006.
No,
Damn.
stop guessing. This is the song 1901 by Phoenix.
1901. Yeah.
I would not have gotten
It was released in 2009.
That was a good episode.
It was a really good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, go listen to that. Okay, next. Zach is 1 point ahead.
Okay.
The song
Oh,
fucking
1985.
period. Yup.
I don't know if I could tell you who wrote this song though.
Bowling for Soup.
Yeah.
Bowling for Soup. I would
But-
guess this came out in like 2001, 2002.
You know what? I'll give you the bonus point. It's 2004.
Close enough.
Close
Wow,
enough.
you guys are very
Yeah.
lenient.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was actually
It's a
thinking
hard
you would
game.
include that song.
It's so good. I
Yeah.
forgot about it. And then I was like, I was prepping for this game by looking at a listicle of like songs with years in the name. And I was like, fuck, Bowling for Soup. Like that was a radio jam.
It
Kinda
was.
with like Stacy's mom. Okay. We got two left.
I don't know this one.
I've heard it. Night. December 63?
I mean, yeah. Yes.
Is that the name of the song?
December, comma, 1963, parentheses, oh, what a night.
Is it The Temptation?
No similar.
Who is it?
Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons.
I
Oh,
wouldn't know.
so it came out and then like, I mean, they're writing about 63, 65?
Like 75.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't
But
know
I'll-
anything about
I'll give you
music
1
history.
point. Me neither. Me neither. Okay, this is the last one.
Ooh, what's the score?
Okay. It's 5-3. So Zach, you could tie it. You could tie it, or Kira could really fucking pummel you to a pulp.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
No pressure. This is Owl City. It's Jonas Brothers.
Year 3000,
Is it the year 3000?
It is the year 3000 by the Jonas Brothers.
which came out in 2008.
2006.
I think the rule is you just have to guess first.
Yeah.
That's what I'm learning.
You know what? I'm gonna call it, Kira. I think you won the hell out of this.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I don't deserve it. But
Well,
You're-
well played.
You're
good game.
actually a musical historian now because I said so.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank
You
you.
did say that off air before we started.
I know.
did.
I know music history about like hyper specific things, but
Right.
not a broad understanding of music history.
Fully me neither. And it presents a challenge on this podcast sometimes.
Yeah.
When people are going on a tangent about
Unless
like
it's that one niche.
da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, but like when Lady Gaga put out the Fame, like that was such a turning point.
2008. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did know that.
Yeah. I think it was one of the first CDs I ever
Oh,
bought.
The first CD I ever bought was Hilary Duff Metamorphosis.
Gorge.
Is that the one with the music video in the rain?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like a green and white disc. That's all I could tell you.
Nice.
That was a good game. I like guessing games around years. It's
Yeah.
very like fits on a timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks for playing. That's not when that song was released, you silly goose. Should we get to the album now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Gorge.
Sarah, you talked a little bit, but I want to hear more
Yeah,
because you're a little more familiar with Prince than I am.
a little bit. But I was talking with my mom on the phone earlier this week because I don't know, we were just like calling like to catch up, like how you do. And I told her, I was like, oh, by the way, we're talking about Prince this weekend. And it made me think of you because she, like, I have known her in my head. Like, when you think about your parents, do you ever think about, like, oh, this is, like, a mom artist?
Yes.
Like, when I think of my mom, it's, like, Prince, Maroon 5, Nelly Furtado, Fergie, Paramore. My mom really likes Paramore.
Mom's a woman of many colors.
She is an enigma. Shout out Jody. I have a lot of like fun little memories of my mom like dancing around to like Kiss and things like that, and it being on her like iPod Nano.
Yeah.
And I have a memory of the opening track 1999 specifically because I was in this like intense like technique kind of like competition program at the dance studio I went to when I was a kid. And they did this like, they do kind of a production number every year for the spring recital. And the one year I was in it, the production sort of number was called A Salute to the Superstars. It concluded with Prince's 1999 and everyone just coming out and being like, this dance is over now. Let's fucking go. And it was a very good
It's
memory.
a good party song.
That's
great.
really funny because I was a figure skater growing up, and I'm from Minnesota.
Mhm.
And every year my skating club would have like a show. And when I was in 8th grade, the theme of the show was Minnesota Nice or something. I don't know.
Sure, yeah.
I had to skate to this ridiculous like bluegrass Minnesota song, but the finale was a Prince medley.
Hell
and
yes.
we got to wear these awesome like purple sequins outfits, and
Such
that
a vibe.
is my earliest, well, maybe not earliest, but like one of my earlier memories with Prince. So that's
Yeah.
funny that we
I love
share
it.
that.
Yeah. Just performance kid things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
What about you, Zach?
My biggest memory of Prince is the 2007 Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
King.
That's like, I would have been 10 maybe? 10 or 11? That was just like, I don't know. I just remember watching that Super Bowl halftime show. I'm like, oh, like
Yeah.
there's a rock band on it. And
Yeah.
like, and then there were all the memes because like, do you guys remember it?
Mm-hmm.
Not vividly.
I've rewatched it so many times.
all the memes because he like went and played behind a curtain. And like there were all the memes of people saying it looked like his guitar was his penis.
Oh, sure.
He probably loved that.
Yeah,
it's
true.
like after
He
realizing-
also, fun fact, I was like researching for this, and so I mean we can talk more about this, but like one of his protege bands was Vanity 6.
Mhm.
And he would go, so like their band, one of his other protege bands was the Time, and the Time was Vanity 6's band live, and they would play behind this curtain, and sometimes Prince would literally go out and like add something to the live performance when they were all on tour together, and people had no idea that Prince was behind the curtain. He was just like, no, this needs to be here.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna add this. So
Wow.
I'm just going to
Yeah.
pop in real quick.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That is so cool.
Other than that, I just like, I love the song Purple Rain. I know it's not on this record.
Sure.
But anytime a live band covers it, like I'm in it. Like my
Yeah.
phone light is out. I am like,
Hell yeah.
I'm singing Purple Rain.
I love that for you.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's really stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah. This album's just so fun. I love fun 80s synth music. It's just such a good energy. Especially like, this feels like an especially good vibe. Kind of transitioning into spring,
Mhm,
transitioning into warmer weather. We're leaving the seasonal depression behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're gonna freaking boogie.
Instead of partying like it's 1999, we're partying like it's July.
Yes. Yes.
Partying like it's July in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yes. Partying like the rooftops
we
are
get
open.
we get 6 weeks of nice weather and then it goes away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it hits though.
That's so funny.
Okay, let's get into this opening title track. I mean, we've already touched a little bit on it. Freaking 1999.
So it's about like nuclear proliferation. And the band was touring for their previous album, and we're at some hotel or something, and the hotel had a sign that said free HBO, which is funny because like now that means such a different thing. But, so they all went on, in and turned on HBO, and it was a documentary by Orson Welles about the end of the world, basically. Oh. And everyone was like, freaking out. Holy shit. Prince went and wrote this song in a fucking night. So that's the backstory behind it. And I honestly think it's like that opening synth riff. Just
it's
the
so
sound,
iconic.
It's so iconic. It's so good. Like, it. I'm going to be fangirling this whole episode, but it's, it's a pop song at heart, but he's talking about, it's a political song.
Yeah.
It's about the Cold War and nuclear I can't fucking say it. Proliferation. And the way he does it is just so artful and masterful. And I, love this song.
Yeah, because this is before the Berlin Wall, right? This is still
82.
82.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is like still Cold War.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much like tumultuous shit going on in the world at that time too. Like there's like the start of the AIDS crisis, and there's like, I don't know, the start of the Iraq-Iran war.
The crack epidemic.
The crack
which
epidemic.
he like talks about, not in this album, but he was in other albums.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. It is kind of interesting to like see all this. Like, I feel like this song is definitely like very relevant at like little peppery points in history since its release, where you're like kind of coming to face with like, could this be the end? Like, shit's kind of really bad right now.
Yeah.
And like, how is that going to affect me? What am I going to do with that? Like, what outlook am I going to take towards that like possibility, if it is a possibility right now?
Yeah. I think partying like it's 1999 is like the right vibe if you're looking at nuclear holocaust.
Yeah.
I just remembered it was about Notre Dame, which I didn't have time to Google. So if either of you know what that means, it was some sort of like theory. Oh, it was the thing when, well, maybe I could be totally talking on my ass, but I think it's the thing where when people thought when it turned 2000, the clocks would like
Y2K.
malfunction.
Yeah.
Let me Google it.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask it. Like 1999 is
not on Wi-Fi.
Were they talking about Y2K in the 80s?
Oh, for sure.
Definitely.
Wow.
I mean, this whole album is really themed around computers and the computer age. So I feel like that, is just proof that they were talking about it, and also that he was thinking about it, and like,
definitely.
Yeah.
And everyone was freaking out so hard, and then it hit,
and then everyone freaked out about 2012,
right?
And now I freak out every day.
Yeah. They say 2000 parties over. Oops, at a time.
Yeah.
That's definitely Y2K.
Yeah.
I don't have to Google that.
Oh, such a good lyric.
I was thinking this song gives very much like that the dog in the room where everything's on fire. And he's like, this is fine.
Yeah.
Like it was giving that, like everything's kind of burning down around us, and everyone's got bombs and the world is ending, and like, baby, I'm gonna dance. Like, what else am I gonna do?
Yeah.
What am I gonna do?
Podcast about it.
Exactly. Exactly. The world, if we like confirmed, like there's like a broadcast and they're like, the world's gonna end in like 8 months, would we keep podcasting?
Yeah, that's 4 more episodes.
Hell yeah, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry, 16, right?
Yeah, 16.
That's so much content.
That's so much content. Oh my god, you're so right.
Yeah, super good first track. It really tells you like how you're gonna feel. I'm not that familiar with Prince. How does this feel compared to like the vibe of the previous LP?
Well, that's a great question. So I'm gonna get on my little Prince historian podium, but this is his 5th record, which is crazy. I mean, his discography is just unreal, and he has so many songs from his vault. Like, this man was so prolific, it blows my mind. But this was his 5th record, and the first 4 were definitely worth listening to. But really, they were very raunchy. Like, they're really just about sex, a lot of it. They were also charting on the R&B, soul, and like what they at the time called black music charts. And so this album was really significant because he crossed over to pop audiences. They literally measured, like, his road tour manager or somebody would go out in the audience during this tour and look and be like, what percentage of the audience is white? And it wasn't because I can't speak for Prince. I don't know him personally. From what I've read and stuff, it wasn't because he was specifically trying to reach white people. It was just because he wanted to be an international superstar. And his measure of, like, how successful am I was how, you know, is my audience reflecting the makeup of America?
Yeah.
So to answer your question, it's different because this is a pop album, right? Like, it uses synthesizers, it uses a drum machine, like, it uses gated snare or reverb. It is so playing into what was in the 80s, but at the same time, it keeps a lot of his R&B soul roots, and it is what kind of, he was already very well known among R&B and soul circles, but this is the album that put him on the track to international stardom. And then, you know, Purple Rain, like, skyrocketed him. Like, he became who he is. So, yeah, that was a long answer, but
No, that was great.
I find it interesting.
Yeah,
It is.
And another thing I wanted to mention about this record, and we're talking about the title track, so I feel like it's appropriate, but so the Controversy tour, his album Controversy was the one before this, and he was opening for the Rolling Stones. The Rolling Stones saw him perform in New York. Mick Jagger was blown away and asked Prince to open for him. At this time, Prince is like 23, or maybe even 22 at the time. And they opened for the Rolling Stones in LA, and Prince gets on stage in this, like, you know, I guess at this time it would have been maybe purple, but in a trench coat and underwear. In front of a white rock audience there to see the Rolling Stones. And people fucking hated them. Like, they threw shit at them. It was, like, awful. And Prince took that and was like, these are the people I need to win over if I'm going to be as big as I want to be. So it's not just about the music, how different it was from his first 4 albums to 1999. It was also his mindset. Like, it was, he literally created 2 other projects that he was going to tour with, that he was writing all the music for them. He was coaching them. He was producing them. It was The Time and Vanity 6. And he did that because he wanted to create, like, this whole movement. Right?
Yeah.
Like, and 1999 was the onset of that. So it was, like, a huge turning point. This is why I chose it. Like, it's crazy. Like, he literally was, like, a musical genius and a business genius, and just, like, anyway, I totally went on a sidetrack.
I know, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
A real Renaissance
I love this
man.
shit. He is. No, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, he also played almost everything on the album. Like, there's a few.
That's wild.
He also created these other bands so that he could credit things to other people because he was playing so many things. He was like, oh, I want to be able to, like, at least give some credits to other people. So
That's like when you put your, like, friend down as, like, your job reference and you give them a bunch of, like, jargon to say and be like, yeah, I really turned those KPIs.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. But Prince just was his friend. Like, he
Yeah.
was like, yeah. He mastermind.
Oh, that's so
So good.
sick. I didn't know the Rolling Stones story. So
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, this diva. Like, I think it is really cool to take something like that and be like, okay, let me dial this shit up. Like,
Yeah, you could be just like
you could be so mad at that
you
audience.
could be discouraged and
Yeah.
like give up, right?
Yeah.
I would.
I would go cry. But he's like, okay, you're my target.
Yeah.
Let's go. And I bet fucking, like, I don't know, 10 years later, they probably loved that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, 1999, he got very famous. After Purple Rain, which was the following album, he was huge. Everyone knew him.
Yeah.
So I would say
Icon.
he succeeded.
Icon
Yeah.
behavior.
Yeah.
Should we move on to the second track, Little Red Corvette?
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking. You said the first couple albums were mostly about sex. We start to see that shimmer here a little bit with
he
Little
never
Red
gives it up.
Corvette. Oh no! But I was living for it for sure. There were a couple times where Prince had me like curling my toes a little bit. I was
Oh
like,
my God.
Prince, wait. Little Red Corvette is super fun. I feel like a lot of the songs on this album feel like just like a really extended, almost like Soul Train-y like jam session.
Yeah, they're like 7 minutes long.
Yeah.
But like then there's like a little jam session where
You
you're
want
just
to
like hanging
start
out
a
with
dance circle.
Yeah.
And like have people take turns in the middle. Like that's maybe that's extremely Caucasian of me, but like that's what I wanted when I was listening to this.
No, I mean, when I was going through it to look, like, actually try to, figure out the track listing and stuff for this, I was like, holy shit, these songs are long.
Yeah.
This is a, like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 track album, and it's an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, that shit's crazy.
Yeah.
I was comparing it to Beyonce's new album this morning, which is like 27 songs, and hers is an hour and 20. Like, put that into perspective. These songs are long, which you can't really do anymore in the streaming age, for better, for worse, whatever. But I agree. Like, it's just, he's just, he's jamming. He's jamming with himself. He's just like full of ideas. And I think like the length of the song really speaks to that. I don't know. I don't have much to add for like backstory other than I think I read like he wrote this one after sleeping in the car of Lisa Coleman, who was one of his bandmates, and he was like, oh, I'm gonna write this song, Little Red. Like, it's just like he would have these tiny little moments of inspiration and then just write like a perfect song. So,
Sure. Work.
Yeah.
I feel like we hear that story so many times on this podcast where it's like, oh yeah, they just had an idea, banged it out in a night, and it's like a stunner. It's so good.
For me on this one specifically, it's the harmonies in the chorus when he's singing like Little Red Corvette. But like the melody is actually a lot lower. I don't even know if I could do it on a whim, but if you go back and listen, or especially if you watch a live version, the harmonies are so locked in. They're so good.
Let's just pull it up right now.
Yeah.
A live version?
Oh, we
We can maybe find it.
Yeah.
So I have a live version of Little Red Corvette live in Syracuse, New York. I'm going to go like a minute in, and I bet we'll hear what we want. Oh my God, he looks gorgeous.
Yeah, Prince was sexy as fuck.
Hi, baby.
Yeah.
Also, he was 5'2". We were the same height.
Yeah, he was so small.
Tiny little. That's such a
Trojan and some of them you. But it was Saturday night. I guess that makes it alright. You said, what if I got to lose? And honey, I say, little red Corvette.
That's what it is.
Oh, work.
in my shoe bag.
Oh my God. The people doing backup vocals in their sparkly blazers as well.
Nice.
Everyone looks gorgeous.
They rehearsed.
God.
They rehearsed like 12 hours a day for this tour.
Wow.
Wow.
They were,
I mean, it sounds incredible. Even for like kind of probably a shitty, like this was a performance from 85, like probably not a great recording of it.
Yeah.
They sound great.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Will you play 340 of the album version? Do you have the same note?
I have a note from slightly earlier.
Yeah.
Because Prince's delivery
This
when
is-
he's like, girl, you got an ass like I never seen. I'm like, you better fucking work. So I'll play that as well as I assume your part, but he's just going off about this Little Red Corvette. He said, I like my women like I like my cars full of gas.
Girl, got an ass like I never seen. And the ride,
guitar lines.
the ride is so smooth. You must be
Oh my God. So good.
So I love that for lots and lots of reasons.
Yeah, tell me more.
Because it's just so bold.
Yeah.
And so good. He's like giving it all.
Yes.
But I'm also a huge Flight of the Conchords fan.
Oh, same.
And do you know the song Part-Time Model?
Yes. Yes.
I feel like they were inspired by this for Part-Time Model.
Oh my
Shit.
God, that's so funny. They definitely were. But
Yeah.
also, he's like, that's like him doing this crossover shit that, like, I just don't understand. It's like James Brown is singing a song by Madonna. you know?
Yes.
And doing it so well. It blows my mind.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's like that's not even like that's like a great song, and it's not even like his top hit, right? You know,
Right.
Oh no, I mean, I
Right.
think it's like well known. I think
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, that one and let me see, Automatic. That one and Automatic were charting pretty well, but 1999 was the hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah.
about right. That sounds about right. The next song, track number 3, Delirious. Hey, let's keep these catchy ass vibes going.
Can we play the intro of this one?
Of course we
I
can.
love the synth tone.
Yes.
It's a capital C choice.
And there's like sleigh bells or something.
Tambourine, maybe.
Or tambourine. That's more normal.
Makes me want. I'm gonna do the dance. Makes me want to do it.
Ooh.
No, not yet.
Are we waiting for this in? It's just so fun. Like, it makes me smile.
I get delirious whenever you're near. Lose all self-control, baby, just can't steal.
I love that he's doing this like kind of rockabilly, like Elvis-y thing.
Mhm.
Like he's really I was like thinking about this album through the lens also of the new Beyonce album, because Beyonce has this whole, well, not this whole track, but like sort of the shorter track about like isn't genre such a funny thing? Like
Mhm.
sometimes, you know, you think you know what you're gonna get, but it makes people feel confined. And that album is just a whole bunch of stuff. Like she's doing opera on it. She's doing, of course, country. Like that's kind of the main through line. There's also like some R&B. There's some straight up like rap tracks. Fucking Post Malone is on there. She does a cover of Jolene. Like it's really all over the place. But it feels reminds me of this because Prince is doing a bunch of different shit, and it could feel really disjointed and really jarring. But it feels comfy. Like it feels like there's a through line.
I think he does it really well because, like, again, this is a song I've been listening to for years or decades. Like, and when I was reading history and criticism for this, researching for this podcast, like everyone kept saying rockabilly inspired, and I was like, what do you mean this song is rockabilly inspired? Like this is a synth pop song. And then I listened to it again with that in mind, and I was like, oh, actually, like the bass line,
Yeah.
the dun 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 dun, dun like and the chord progression is super rockabilly inspired, but he does it so well that you don't even notice it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's very like as done by Prince. Like, yeah. It just feels, it still feels cohesive, and that rules.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's this specific synth sound, but I would wager that it is. He was using I had to look it up, an Oberheim OBX. I get it mixed up with the Oberheim DMX drum machine, but that and then the Lin LM1 drum machine are so important to this album and some of his other songs. And it really gives it that like unique sound, and it's something that I've like stolen a lot from my music. I just love the Lin LM1 sounds and the Oberheim OBX sounds. Obviously, I don't have one because it would be thousands of dollars, but
you can emulate them.
You can emulate them. And yeah, I think just like that, like really like stabby, high frequencies, like it's so synonymous with this album.
Yeah. I had kind of a fun philosophical question I wanted to ask you guys about. It's like about like tones and timbres, especially as it relates to like 80s synth music.
Yeah.
Like when I hear 80s synth music, like I am thinking of a time far, far ago. I'm thinking of like Breakfast Club with the speaker.
Sure.
But I wonder if it sounds different as a novel experience. Like the first time you heard an 80s song, you live in 1980. Like there's no context. There's no far, far away. Like, does it sound different to you?
I mean, I can't speak from experience.
Right. Me neither. But I mean, I guess we're experiencing like new sounds all the time, right? Like think about the first time you heard like 100 gecs.
Yeah. Or an example I was going to say, like, do you remember the first time you heard like a dubstep wobble?
I was thinking
yeah.
And now that feels far, far away.
Well, and I think it was like the new thing. That's why people loved it.
Yeah.
Because they were going from like 70s rock, super guitar dominated to synth pop, and it was completely opposite, and that's why people loved it.
Yeah.
You know, people wanted something new.
Yeah, I bet it would have been so like fresh and new at the time. Yeah.
How
So
fun.
It's not like synths didn't exist. Like you should, you know, or not you should, but like you could listen to Kraftwerk and hear a lot of synth sounds and people were doing it, but it was in maybe like a less poppy way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
More underground type
Yeah.
of stuff. Yeah.
I was just thinking, my mom was 12 when this album came out. That had to be
You
so fun.
Yeah, you should ask her if it
Yeah.
sounds different.
Hey, old. Since you were around during the ancient times, what did you think hearing a synth for the first time?
That's funny.
Nah. Swag. What a fun song. Before we go to the next one, should we take a break and make another Bevo?
Yeah.
I'd be
sounds
down.
great.
I also would
Yay.
love some more water.
Gorge. I've got plenty.
All right, y'all. Let's pretend we didn't spend 10 minutes eating chips and pretzels and
Why would you
getting more
pretend
drinks.
that?
But let's pretend we're married.
That's a better way to pretend.
It's such like you remember when you were a kid and you would like pretend to be married,
So hard.
which is like such like a nice whimsical, but that's not what Prince is saying right
No.
now.
That's not the purpose. That's not the purpose.
What is the purpose? Tell me, I'm not for sure.
I have a theory. If you're familiar with like puritanical beliefs that say that you should be celibate until you're married to someone.
Sell a bit of what?
Intercourse.
Oh, you have to sell a bit of it.
Baby, if you got it, put it on the market. No, you have to abstain. You have to not have sexual intercourse with anyone until you're married. Otherwise, that's a capital S sin.
And
19.
he was, I don't know about this time, but he was a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
And I know
Wow.
that because I was telling my dad that I was going to talk about Prince, and he was like, oh, my friend in Minneapolis, like, Prince came to her door to, like, talk about Jehovah's Witnessing or whatever.
For real?
And he was like, his friend invited Prince and whoever he was with in and blah, blah, blah. But I was like, Dad, there's no way that's true. Like, the veracity of his stories are always a little bit questionable.
That is a little
But
bit of a
then
dad story. But
I was looking it up, and he actually did like go around knocking on people's doors for Jehovah's Witness. And
That's
I was
fucking
like,
sick.
okay.
wow.
And I know that when people would visit Paisley Park, like they couldn't drink or swear. He was like a vegetarian, so no meat eating. But yeah, maybe I don't know. He was definitely some sort of Christian at this time.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess
'cause-
perhaps to not agree with the celibacy part of it.
Yeah. Because I was thinking about like the 80s, like was culture like more
I mean, it was the start
prone-
of like the Reagan presidency,
yeah,
I guess.
yeah. So like
Mm.
people were probably really like traditional family values.
Sure. Yeah.
So I don't know. Was it a sexy thing to say to a woman in the 80s? Like, hey, let's pretend we're married for tonight.
Oh my God.
No. I'm not into that. I mean, I'm also in a long-term relationship, so it's like, baby, the old ball and chain anyway. But
Just the government's not just involved yet. Yeah.
yeah. No, I think it's kind of fun.
I was just gonna say, for me, the lyrics of this song are what really do it.
Yeah.
Especially the lyric where he's like, if you're free for a couple of hours, or maybe if you're not busy for the next 7 years.
Yeah.
Like, I just find that so endearing because, like, on one hand, he's talking about let's pretend we're married so we can fuck.
Yeah.
On the other hand, he's like, hey, I actually kind of like you and want to spend 7 years with you.
Yeah.
Which is really cute.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that always just stuck out to me about this song, in addition to it being a complete banger.
Yeah, very
Mhm.
much. Very much. Aw, kind of wholesome, huh?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I also love the like synth on this one. I like wrote down when I was listening to this that at one point it almost starts to sound like this big like brassy horn or something. But then you're like, wait, but that doesn't sound like it's brass. Maybe perhaps that's from a synthesizer. And I'm into it. I have a timestamp. I'd like to play it.
Yeah.
I have something to add to that after we listen to
Oh,
it.
So-
hell
So
yeah.
this is a game called Horn or Synthesizer.
What a fun game.
Honestly, you could.
Yeah. It got my goat.
So what? Come on, baby, let's. Oh, little darling, you be free for a couple of hours. You ain't busy for the next 7 years. 7 years. I'll say let's pretend we're married all night. There ain't nothing wrong if it feels alright.
But yeah, that first like big like bow, like
Yeah.
sting. I was like, fun. I love a horn. So I was like, yes. But then I was like, oh, wait.
No.
So I'd love to hear more.
So the quote unquote Minneapolis sound, if you've heard of it or whatever, it was literally something Prince designed. But like what he's doing is taking, you know, more traditional funk and soul music and turning the horns into synths. And that was like
Fun.
what, you know, consciously or subconsciously really differentiates Prince and I think makes his music a lot more pop sounding is because instead of using an acoustic kit and acoustic horns, he's using a drum machine and synths. And it's interesting you picked up on that because like I feel like a lot of people are just like, oh yeah, it's synths. But a lot of the like stabs you hear in Prince songs and a lot of the like synth accents are things that you would hear from horns in a funk song, but he's doing it on a synth.
So interesting.
Yeah.
I never thought about like the composition of the prior music, like it influenced his synth design.
It's so funky,
Oh,
though.
man.
I was totally, like, digging on it. Ugh, what a darling diva doll.
Yeah.
Genius. The part, I was, like, giggling a little bit before we came back on the mic because there are lyrics in this one that are a little bit wholesome where it's like, wait, I kind of like you. Like, what if we were in a relationship? But then it's like, he says, I sincerely want to fuck the taste out of your mouth. And I'm like, oh.
That's a little naughty.
Wait. I was like, I was just like, I thought about my mom. And
Oh no.
I just thought
Sorry,
about
Jody.
the 80s at large. And I was like, work. Honestly, work. Like,
The 80s were a crazy time. But
Yeah.
also, even for the 80s, this was very, like, saying that, even
oh,
now,
yeah, so
right,
explicitly. Yeah.
is not, I mean, the reason his early music wasn't popular in part was because it was so explicit.
Yeah.
Taboo.
Yeah.
And I think, Automatic is a song that
Mhm.
MTV, like, wouldn't even play the music video because they were doing, like, bondage and shit.
Oh,
So, like, people were
sure.
at the time still like, whoa.
Yeah.
This is a
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Prince walked so, like, Slut Pop by Kim Petras could run today.
Honestly true.
Yeah.
Also a queer icon, too.
Very much.
Yeah.
Very much.
Mhm. Yeah, I didn't know Prince was so kinky until I like did a deep dive into this record, and I was like, oh, he's saying that.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was also very androgynous and, like,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
he had this entire alter ego where he would pitch his voice up and sing as a woman.
Oh.
Like, I don't know, he wrote this song for Vanity 6 called Vagina that's about a person who's intersex and like him like wanting to fuck this person and like he's just like,
Wow.
I don't know, he's all over the map in terms of like being sex positive
Yeah.
and like queerness, and it was never, I mean, he never explicitly like talked about being queer, but it makes a lot of sense why he's a queer icon.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, there's just so much like openness throughout the whole record and very like not judgmental at all. Like he's like, girl, work that fucking body, shake that ass, give it to him. Like, why not? Like, you've got it, babe. I love it.
Yeah.
And he can rock a fucking glitter blazer like nobody else.
Speaking of sex positive, this next track.
I love this song.
Dance, music, sex, romance.
It's like the best acronym I think I've ever seen in a song. Like
Yes.
DMSR.
It's like a mix between S&M and DSLR.
That's right.
What does it mean? I don't know.
So,
Yeah.
so is it like dance music, comma, sex romance? Or is it like each one is their own dance music, sex romance?
The way I interpret it is Prince was like very all about like unity and freedom of expression
Mhm.
and like instead of all the shit that was going on in the world at the time, just like, you know, he wasn't a partier, but like enjoying the
Like lively pleasures, like
like
yeah.
dancing and like
yeah.
listening to music and like having sex and being in love and like talking about like how that unites us.
Yeah.
I think that was a big thing for him, which is what this song is in part about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big theme in a lot of his music. And I think it's really cool.
Yeah. It almost felt like these were like virtues or something.
Yeah, like knightly virtues.
Like the four Prince commandments or something.
I will follow
Like,
those
honor,
so fast.
chastity, but
I was
the prince is
buying
like,
it.
No. Dance, music, sex, and romance.
I was also thinking about the last episode we did, Zach, where you had that game where we were looking for song recommendations on Reddit.
Uh-huh.
And someone was like, what song would you pair with this gif of Peter Griffin, like, sensually roller skating in front of a disco ball?
And this is the one.
And-
This might have won that contest, yeah.
At the time, I said Sneaker Night by Vanessa Hudgens, but I would like to revise it today to be DMSR by Prince.
You retroactively win that game.
Thank you. I love that. I did have an advantage because I talk to you more regularly and also like listen to this, but yeah.
Yeah, I picked this one as my intro because I like it a lot.
It's so good.
And we talked about the long songs. This is a long song.
Yeah.
but-
Such a long song. What is it, like 8 minutes?
But it doesn't
Something
feel
like
like it.
that.
Something about like the consistency of the drum machine, like
Yeah.
so steady, keeps you in this kind of trance.
Yes.
That just like lets the different sections like flow into each other.
Yeah.
I know, I don't know about this song, but I know when they were recording 1999 that he just put on the drum machine and had all the members of the band come in and do their takes, and it did not stop like the whole 12 hours or whatever that it took. So that makes a lot of
checks out,
sense.
yeah.
And honestly, like that, people weren't doing that back then, other than like I mentioned Kraftwerk because they were the 70s. So like they were very innovative in their use of drums, but like other than that, like people weren't doing long dance songs really.
Yeah.
Other than maybe disco, like is kind of, but like drum machines weren't that popular in disco.
Right.
It was mostly acoustic hits. So like his use of the drum machine and just having these long songs play out, like that's what we're hearing these days with EDM, with like house music, with all these different dance genres. And I think that's why this is such an important record, is because it just really like started so much.
Yeah.
Totally. And I loved the audience involvement in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he says, all the white people, clap your hands on the floor now. Like, that's so funny.
Because
That's
white
so
people
funny.
can't do rhythm. So he's like, guys, okay, 1, 2, 3,
clap.
4.
And then he counts
Don't clap
it
on
out
1
for
and 3.
them.
Don't clap on 1 and 3. I know you
Oh
like to
my
do that.
God. Like, and now, like, with the context that he was trying to expand that fan base like that, I'm like, that's so iconic.
And I think that also, I mean, to go back to like his desire for an interracial audience, like his band was interracial. He really just wanted, like, he wanted to kind of like, I mean, again, I can't speak to what Prince wanted because I don't know him. I wish I did, but I didn't. He wanted the music to transcend all of it.
Yeah.
And not that necessarily has to do with like the white people clap, because I think that's probably just him being like, white people can't keep rhythm.
Yeah.
But when he saw, with the Rolling Stones like playing that show, like he was like, they're the people I need to win over. He just wanted it to be music. I don't know if I'm like making sense or coming to a poignant point, but yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah,
for
totally.
sure.
I feel like
It's
I'm just babbling.
It's like, let's all just fucking get into this groove and hang out and like dance
and
together.
dance and do music and do sex and do romance. Like
Exactly.
the 4 virtues of Prince.
Exactly. Exactly.
I got a timestamp, and I didn't write down why I had this timestamp, so we're gonna find out together.
Fun mystery.
Let's play 620. I liked this part in particular.
620. So
I think
that's
I
like
think I know what-
2/3 of the way. No, wait, 3/4 of the way through.
Such a long song.
It is, but I
Not
was
even the
grooving.
longest.
But it needs it.
I think this is a really good album. Probably to put on at like a party, right?
Oh, yeah.
because I can just play and play
Just
and
goes,
play,
and
it
every
kinda
song
grooves
is
the whole time.
upbeat. Yeah.
But also like to put on to like get work done,
Sure.
because you can sort of like trance out to it a little bit,
Mhm.
but still like bop along.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see what your mystery timestamp is.
Jamie Starr's a thief. It's time to fix your clock. 96 is so sweet. Now you can all take a bite of my purple rock. Can we stop?
Yeah, I just like that spoken word part. That's
Hell
what
yeah.
it was. Yeah.
He mentioned Jamie Starr there.
Yeah.
which was one of his alter egos, who was like the overbearing manager producer, which was also like he developed these alter egos to give credits to other people who weren't him. So he was Jamie Starr, even though he always, maintained that he wasn't Jamie. Like Jamie Starr was another person. So Jamie Starr's a thief, is what he said. I don't know what that means, but
Whoa.
it's interesting.
He's a
He's
manager.
starting beef with his own character.
His own self.
This reminds of when we had Matt Farley on the playlist or on the podcast, and he was talking about like his like writing egos and all the like lore that goes into it, where it's like, oh, the man who sings about cities and towns actually stole the wife of the guy who writes songs about pee, poop, and puke or whatever. Like I don't remember
they all
the
know
exact
each
lore.
other somehow.
Yeah.
Those are some Prince vibes for
Yeah.
sure.
Very that, very
Yeah.
that. Prince writing the poop song. Should we go on to track number 6, Automatic?
You pronounced it wrong. AUTO-matic.
Thank you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you're really close.
Yeah. I think it was the dialect.
Yeah.
I think this is the longest song. It's like 10 minutes.
long.
Yeah.
This is the one where the music video is a lot of like bondage.
Ooh.
So if you want to, you should go watch it.
Yeah.
But MTV wouldn't play it because of the sexual matter.
That's wild because MTV, I feel like, played a lot of shit. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know, man.
like, I feel like you have to do something like pretty raunchy for
I know,
MTV to be like,
exactly.
nah.
Right.
I actually haven't seen this music video. I should watch it, but I don't know. Like maybe they're naked. I don't know.
Should we watch it right now?
I would be down to watch a clip.
Let's just pull it
Maybe
up right now
there's-
and we'll describe it for the listeners at
Maybe
home.
there's dick and balls. I don't know.
Just full rod.
Perhaps. I don't know. Oh, I got to the bondage.
Oh. I want to see it.
Okay, so it happens like a little after 5 minutes in.
Wow, 5 minutes.
I didn't think it would still be on the stage. So we've got like some babes on the stage who.
Oh, they're undressing him.
yeah.
So you got a pilot's hat on?
Maybe it was from what is that song?
Oh, International Lover.
Yeah, International Lover.
They're smoking cigarettes. That's how you know it's the 80s.
Oh, they threw his ass down.
Because they're inside.
Oh yeah, they're gonna tie him to the bed.
That's not that crazy.
I mean, it was the 80s.
But it was the 80s. It was the 80s. There could be crazier things to come.
I would still show this to my grandma at this point. Like, this is
That's
That makes one of us.
yeah.
Like, I know my grandparents have had sex, but, like, I don't need them to know that I know.
Like, compared to what, like, MTV has played, this is fine.
But in the 80s,
Yeah, I
what
guess.
what were they playing in the 80s?
I don't know. Like, what
Let's
was
skip
Madonna
forward a
up
bit.
to at that time?
Yeah.
I don't think she was, because that was, like, Material Girl, right? That
Because
wasn't-
this is the this is
Oh, huh? Oh, he's
This
getting,
is-
like, whipped and shit?
pretty tough.
Oh, okay, sure. Okay. All right, that's valid. And this was pre 50 Shades, like,
Pretty
you know,
50 Shades.
people didn't know about whips like that, I guess.
PFS and post-FS.
Oh my god.
I feel like his female bandmates were like, yeah, okay, sure, Prince, we'll do this.
Sure. Yeah.
Whatever.
Hey, what a homie. Like,
I mean, he was apparently very proper with his female coworkers or like collaborators. I read the only time he was even remotely sexual was like when groupies were in the room and other men were being like, hey, look at these sexy little babes. You know, like whatever.
Oh,
But
Yeah,
and
sure.
you'd, like, join the club.
he was
or
like overall, yeah, like he was very respectful.
gentlemanly. I could see
His
that.
main engineer was a woman, which at that time is
like,
Yeah.
Peggy McCleary, I think was her name. And
She's
you know
go
her?
ahead. Yeah, she's got like TED Talks about like music and theory, and yeah, it's great stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
And she said he was so respectful.
Yeah.
Maybe a little awkward because he was a weird guy, but given how sexual his music was not a predatory person. Yay!
Yay! I think we should like screen famous people. Like before you make good music or are famous, you have to like make sure you're not shitty.
I love that.
Yeah, that should be like someone should call their senator and be like, "Hey, can we make this happen?"
a legal process for becoming famous. Sidebar, my day job is like, I'm a government contractor. I work for a company that's government contractor.
Oh, wow.
And that would just be too much red tape and it would take too long. Like if you're like submitting your application to be famous, it would take you like 5 years.
There's a crazy amount of tax dollars that goes into that. Like,
Worth it. Something in the water, I guess. I don't know. Does not compute.
does not compute.
What a great song name.
Yeah.
Like 2 sentences I've never heard in the same context
Yeah.
are this song name.
It's like, of course it doesn't compute. It's water.
This is Prince's diss track.
Yes.
Tell me more.
I mean, he's just clearly pissed at some woman that didn't love him back.
Yeah.
He's like, there must be something in the water. That's why you don't love me.
He's like, I'm so hot and sexy and beautiful. How could you possibly not? Like,
And honestly,
all
I
this.
agree. But
He's like, sounds like a you problem.
So you're Team Prince in this song.
I'm Team Prince in everything. In terms of the actual musicality, can we listen to a bit?
Yeah, totally. I'll play from the jump.
Oh, it's such a good beat.
The drum machine.
Yeah. These I guess this isn't a polyrhythm.
It's just really full. A lot of 16th
Yeah.
notes. And that sounds like a video game sound.
Yeah.
That feels like I solved a puzzle in Zelda.
Yeah.
Some people tell me I got great legs. Can't figure out why you make me beg. Does not compute. Don't not compute. You think it's special, well, so do I.
It's like,
I do special women make me cry.
this is like a Radiohead beat.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like,
Uh-huh.
I guess maybe it's just because it's so fast, but
Yeah.
There should be like some tritune substitutions in it, and then that's Radiohead now.
Yeah. I mean, it's already in a weird minor chromatic key. Like later on, he gets pretty chromatic. Like,
I was laughing because the thought of someone who's 5'2" being like, I got great legs. Like, that's something you usually think of with, like, I don't know, like a Naomi Campbell, like someone who's very statuesque. And so someone who's perhaps, and I'm speaking as someone who's 5'2", a bit stubby, being like, check out these gams, baby. Like, I admire the confidence.
I don't know. Go watch a video of him in that trench coat and underwear.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, maybe I should.
Or he just needed a good rhyme with big. We were just talking about this off air. Every time I go visit Missouri and come back, and like, I'm at a grocery store, people are like, "Where are you from?"
I mean, big. I've never heard anyone in the lower Midwest say big. Like, I feel like that's a Minnesota thing, which is on topic because we're talking about Prince.
Yeah.
And he actually, I forget what it's called, but he has like some vault song that he makes fun of, like an Minnesota
Oh,
accent.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
I passed
sure.
you there.
yeah.
Yeah.
But big, that's Minnesota.
How do you say it?
I say bag.
Did you get
Big.
bullied out of it? Or did you say it when you lived in Minnesota?
I remember I had a friend when I was in like elementary and middle school who said bagel
Yeah.
or bagel and bag.
Whoa.
And I was like,
Bagel is wrong.
Bagel is wrong.
that's Minnesota. And I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
But if I say like house, if I'm very drunk or
Sure.
something of that nature,
Yeah, yeah.
then it comes out.
I say this because, well, I'm from like southeastern Wisconsin, and when I moved to Chicago, have I told this story on the podcast before? I was like watching something on Hulu with a bunch of my freshman year of college friends, and a commercial for Viagra came on. But at the time, I was like, why is there a Viagra commercial?
Viagra.
And it's like everyone in the room stopped. And everyone in the room was like,
Oh, don't you know?
they said, what did you just fucking say? And so they just kept telling me to say AG words. And they were like, what do you put your groceries in after you go to the store? And I was like, a bag.
Wait, can you look up Prince vault song Minnesota accent? Because
Yes.
I want to play like, I think it's at the end of the song.
I feel like Prince is like pretty sexy, but a Minnesota accent is not
It's
very
not
sexy.
sexy.
He's making fun of it. Like he's literally talking about like Minnesota nice and like how fucking dumb it is. And I wish I could find it.
Okay.
Oh, it's literally called Yeah, You Know.
Yeah, you know.
That's so Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, I found it.
Yeah, this is it.
It is kind of hokey.
So this is like a release song, or what is this?
No, this was okay, so well, I'll explain it after.
Okay. We could just hear Prince do a Minnesota accent. Is that what's gonna happen?
I think it's at the end.
Oh, here, let me.
but the world's gonna end soon. You got me loose. Say, yeah, you know. Yeah, you know. Like, I would get a job, but the world's gonna end soon. You got me loose.
That rules.
He's saying like, yeah, you know, I would
Yeah,
get a
you
job
know.
if something, I don't know. But
That's hilarious. Way to call back to his roots.
to what you said, this is like an unreleased track or whatever. He wrote so many fucking songs and pared them down for all of his albums, but in 1999, like he had so many songs queued up that any of them, maybe not this one, but a lot of them could have been on the record and been, hits.
Yeah.
Totally fit in. And I think there's like a deluxe reissue that has a lot of the Vault songs. He
And,
wanted
like-
to release them and his label Warner didn't want to or something. I don't know, but
Yeah.
it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But
They came out Pitchfork at least wrote about it in like 2016.
mm,
And it's like a ton of
Mhm.
extra tracks.
It's like double the length.
It's like,
right?
yeah, it's like another 20 songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like we don't normally talk about bonus tracks on the show. And I was like, oh man, if we had to talk about bonus tracks, this would be 4 episodes.
We do
I'll
a
come
whole
back.
season of Prince
A whole side series where we just talk about this one record and its bonus tracks.
work, honestly.
So prolific, so much.
yeah, no, he
Yeah.
was like, I can't even comprehend how much he was writing at that time.
Yeah.
It's insane to me.
So free. What a free guy.
So free to write.
Yeah.
So free to create. Track number 8 is called Free. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
This is
Oh
actually,
man. Oh, go
this is
ahead.
my favorite song on the
Oh,
record.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
It's not totally a ballad, but it's a little bit a ballad, and it's about kind of what I was saying earlier, like people should just live in unity.
Yeah.
Advocating for peace. And it's a really beautiful song. The lyrics, like if you really listen to them, they kind of make me want to cry.
Aw.
And I think it's like if you want to know what Prince is about ideologically, you should listen to this song.
Definitely. Yeah, it's such a change of pace for this record because we've been jamming, we've been funky, we've been grooving, we've been a little ooh sexy. And now we're getting like very, very sincere and slowing it down just a little bit. And it is really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially kind of like what we were mentioning earlier, like things at the time, the world climate, so to speak, was a bit topsy-turvy and continues to be. So to sort of wish for this unity, and I mean it is really just like a pacifist, like, guys, let's just vibe. Like, why are we even doing this? Like, let's just hang out and like be sweet.
It's also some of the most, probably like 3/4 into the song, like raw, impassioned Prince vocals. I mean, he's always, doing the like James Brown scream and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But like the song really, he's just like, it is so, the emotion comes through so well, which is really hard to do as a singer.
Yeah.
And he nails it.
I think we should listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great form. It's like the final chorus with all this extra stuff at the end. Like, oh,
Did you have a note?
I don't have the timestamp, but yeah, like I love this last chorus where he's
Yeah.
really like letting free.
Hell yeah.
Some of the guitar playing, I kind of miss some of the guitar playing and all the synthy stuff. But man, what a good guitar player he was. I love that I didn't know he was little, like so short until today. I love that now. Just him like,
His range is crazy.
It's
wild.
He can sing probably higher than I can sing and way fucking lower. Like oh God. I could talk about how godly of a musician as Prince is for so long. Like, you mentioned his guitar playing. I don't know if you've seen the video of him with, I think it's the George Harris tribute.
No.
They're singing My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Oh, yeah.
Or they're playing it. He's with Tom Petty. You should definitely watch it. It's a video. I think it's, oh my God, I'm totally butchering this. I think it's the Grammys, but I could be wrong. And they're playing the song, and like Tom Petty's like, yeah, I'm going to do my solo. And then Prince comes out, and he was late. He missed sound check.
Wow.
And he just comes out like right as his solo is on, and he fucking destroys it. Like, please watch the video.
Oh my God.
It's so good.
Link in description.
Yeah, no, it's, I mean, he was a better guitar player than most hair metal gods who were, playing at that time. He was a better keys player than most jazz pianists. Like, and a better songwriter than most songwriters. Like, it blows my mind.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Fully, like, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a businessman.
And a businessman.
Yeah.
He could make a brand with a great color purple.
He has
Like,
a Pantone
he's got-
shade. It is crazy. It is
Yeah.
so crazy. Like, very, like, once in a lifetime type.
Yeah.
That is so
Talent.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm blown away.
And the fact that he's from my city,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's crazy.
It's gotta feel
We
good.
don't got that many people from Minnesota.
No, I get it.
Huh.
The replacements, they're fine. I mean,
Sure.
they're good. I like their songs. I
Yeah.
like their music. Bob Dylan's from northern Minnesota.
Work.
but
Oh,
We don't got that many people like Prince.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
that's pretty amazing.
Lucky.
I mean, there's way more people from Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But that's easy. It's like, it's Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we move on
Yes.
to Lady Cab Driver?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a potty first though.
Oh, great.
A lady cab driver in 1982. Is that progressive? I don't know.
What a win for
I don't know
feminism.
anything about the 80s. And let's objectify her. No.
No.
Cuddle that if that's not PC.
Ooh, girl, your shoulder pads. You better parallel park that car.
I wish I was alive in the 80s.
Oh,
I
yeah?
do too.
Everything about it.
I just think it's such a fun energy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. If nothing else, for like big hair and shoulder pads.
Or like the good socks.
The good socks.
They always have like I'm thinking of like the 80s, like the bun and the workout outfit with like the big long socks.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
You mean leg warmers?
Yeah, maybe.
I think you mean leg warmers.
Yeah. They're not socks. I'm learning something new.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Yeah. No, you're so right. Such good socks.
Yeah.
Lady Cab Driver, let's listen to a little bit of it and then get into it.
It's probably the
that's a-
Lynn drum.
That's a drum machine clap for sure.
I love that.
It's not white people clapping because it's not on only before. I forgot how good this bass line is.
That's the thing with him is like everything is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're grooving.
Can you driver? Can you go to like try to find? Actually, I know it. I don't need it. No, I mean like
Say less.
you can skip into it if you want, but
I want to hear a little bit.
Yeah,
for
I wanna
my
hear
own
it.
brain. I love the like ambiance that's kind of in the background here, like the little taxi beeping and like
You're in the
people on
city.
the street. You're in the big fucking apple, Minneapolis. That's why they call it that.
The
Minneapolis
Minneapolis.
is because it's the Big Apple.
yeah.
It's the mini apple. The big apple's New York.
Oh yeah,
The mini apple.
that's cute.
If Prince wrote this song in 2024, would he be like, "Lady, Lyft driver,
Yeah,
I called you on the app on my phone"?
That's like so much less sexy.
Yeah.
everything is less sexy.
I don't know. This song is like, again, I said it's just like Prince being horny, but also, I mean,
kind of nice.
it's so good. Like the bass line, the synth parts, the beat, like all of it's so good. It's almost in a way of like, it's not, there's nothing super memorable that you can latch onto. But then when you listen back to it, you're like, it's perfect.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Like, I was listening to this and I noted that I thought this one felt very like understated compared to like a 1999, which is very like boom, all in your face, lasers, fireworks. And this one's very like speak softly and carry a big stick. Like, I'm just gonna kind of hang out, I'm gonna groove, but when you listen to it, you're gonna be like, ooh, bitch, that's delicious. Yeah.
Good track.
I just imagine Prince, programming a beat and then jamming with himself.
Yeah.
Writing this and then asking his band to, add in some harmonies, and that's the song.
Yeah.
And I have nothing else to add.
Prince just like had a lady cab driver and then like wrote this the next minute, probably, right?
Yeah, no, actually, that is probably what happened.
Probably
Yeah.
literally what happened.
Yeah.
In the cab ride to the hotel or something.
Yes.
What a
And
guy.
it's perfect.
What a guy.
I did have one more note about this one, and it was, I heard this, I don't know if it's a synth or what, but it sounded like there was like a seagull noise. So I'm just gonna like play this.
I did not ever hear that.
I
till
never
just
noticed
now.
that.
Those are
That's definitely just a seagual sample.
Do you think I was
or
after the horns? I was like, is there a way to do that on a synthesizer?
I mean, probably, but it sounds so real.
It does sound pretty real.
it could also be like hamsters. I don't know what it is.
Hamsters.
It's a small chirpy creature.
Yeah.
Going like, oh.
And usually I don't pick up on that kind of thing because I'm listening on like my AirPods. But I was
Sure.
listening on my AirPods when I heard that. So I
Huh.
was like, it must be prominent enough in the mix. Look at me talking like I know things.
What a choice to put seagulls in the song about
I-
cab drivers.
I don't know how like relevant seagulls are to New York. I would more so think of pigeons, but
Sure.
I don't know. I
Could
thought
be a
that was like
pigeon sound.
a really interesting. It's like literally halfway through the song, we just get some seagull noises. I was like,
Speaking as a
sure.
Minnesotan, like where he was writing this shit, there's not a lot of seagulls in
No
Minnesota.
seagulls.
There's whatever the weird like lake seagulls we have in Chicago, those probably exist in Minnesota,
Sure.
but yeah, no seagulls.
Yeah.
Minnesota seems pretty landlocked. if
It
I
Lots
had
of
to guess.
lakes.
Yeah.
Lots
Not
of
a
lakes.
lot of big lakes.
His studio was on a lake
Oh.
in
Nice.
a suburb of Minneapolis, which is really funny to me because it's in Chanhassen, Minnesota, which is like, I don't know, like the fucking Lombard of the Twin Cities. So why did he buy a house there and make his home studio there? It's just really funny.
Interesting.
Cheap taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the same reason Post Malone lives in like South Dakota or whatever.
Oh, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not South Dakota. He lives in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
Work.
Definitely not in New York because all the critics love you in New York.
Aww.
I like that he's using like 2002 text language for this one.
Yeah, out of
He-
nowhere.
He was really into that. He
Yeah.
did that all the time.
Well, I guess, yeah, isn't like I Would Die For You?
Yep. I would die for
Capital
the Sinead O'Connor one. What is it called? Nothing Compares to You, I think.
Oh, yeah.
He was really into text language. I don't know where it came from, but
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure he started doing that on this album. And this song is about that show I mentioned where Mick Jagger saw him play in New York, and he got tons of
Oh.
favorable reviews. So he wrote this song about how all the critics loved him in New York.
Word.
And for some reason, I'm not
Huh.
totally sure why, but whenever I hear this, I think about Vogue by Madonna. It's like a similar vibe.
Sure, yeah.
It's like a little bit down tempo. The just like the aesthetic or like the energy feels to me like black and white, like noir. I don't know.
Yeah, there's sort of almost like avant-garde. Like, I don't know. I was trying to think of this, like, how would a Midwesterner write about the critics in New York? And I was thinking
Oh,
about,
yeah.
like, my relatives and how, like, a lot of them would probably go to New York and be like, wow, people are just really going for it out here. Like, and so I was kind of thinking of that, like you could really like. There are all these lines in this song about like you can fucking shave your head and the critics love you, and you can dance however you want and the critics love you, and it's sort of this like
Huh.
I don't know, really interesting, like, almost elitist, but I don't think Prince is being elitist, but sort of this, like, the powers that be in this one coastal city have so much influence over mainstream art, and oftentimes it is so kooky and out there, the things that they're really loving at the time.
I interpret it differently. I always heard it as like, I can be who I want here, and people focus on the music and still love me.
Yeah.
Because like I know at this show where he was discovered by Mick Jagger, like Kiss was there, and they were painting their faces. Like Mick Jagger was dressing kind of androgynously, and Prince probably I don't know for a fact, but like probably showed up in his trench coat and underwear, and the critics still loved him, and he's like, oh shit, I can be who I want to be here, and people still love me.
Yeah. Do you think
know?
it's like in spite of that, or do you think that those like creative differences play a part in that love?
I think it's a little of both.
Yeah.
I think he was doing something that hadn't been done before in terms of like sonically, but also just culturally. Like he was very sexual and very androgynous, and that was not something that had been done before. He was also black. Like, you know, maybe Mick Jagger had done that before, but he wasn't black. And sonically, he was melding all these genres that had not been combined before. And so I think it's a little bit in spite of that, because I think up until this point, he had a really hard time breaking through to the mainstream audience. But also because of that is what made him so amazing.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting song.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if he's if some of the critics are like the only living boy in New York. Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh God,
you've got to explain that.
Episodes ago, you got.
I don't know what you mean.
You got to refresh it.
That was a long one. That I really like casted that one far. That's a track by
you
Simon
were going
and Garfunkel.
for a beluga with that cast.
That's the one where Simon is sad because Garfunkel left, and so he's the only boy. Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that.
The critics really liked that one in New York.
Well, yeah, people like things when it's like the place that they're in. Like, that's why everyone loves that Joe song right now, who lives in Chicago. And it's like, and when I'm back in Chicago, I feel it. And people are like, yes.
That's where I'm at right now.
That's where I am.
It's
and
so
I do
relatable.
feel it. Yeah.
I think it, like, sometimes when you name a song after a city, it can be kind of like, maybe hokies not the wrong word.
Like pandering?
Or cheesy, maybe?
Trade?
Yeah, maybe. But I think this is a great song because it's like there's layers. There's lots of layers and interpretations.
Yeah. I'm into it.
Yeah.
I really love the last track, though.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it?
Well, yeah, this is where I pulled my intro from. I love the whole, like, pilot shtick and sort of this through line of, like, it's very sexy. Like, it's this very, like, oh, like, hey. But there's, sort of a campiness to it.
Yeah.
Where it's not totally, like, taking itself so seriously. There's, like, this humor of, like, what if I was a sexy airplane pilot? And I was making a sexy announcement.
I feel like we need to play part of that.
Yeah.
We
for
should.
people to understand.
It's so
It's
iconic.
so good. I have one other note, and I think this is before the sexy pilot monologue. But Prince is giving, like, vocals. I mean, he has been this whole album, but I'm going to play that first, just so we know that it's not entirely camp. There's also some servage, perhaps, on the table.
There's so much servage.
Yes.
That's right, baby. Let me take you around the world. Yeah. I will buy you diamonds and pearls, baby. Gotta be good. Gotta be good. Yeah. Good evening. This is your pilot, Prince speaking. You are flying aboard the Seduction 747. And this plane is fully equipped with anything your body desires. If for any reason there's a loss in cabin pressure, I will automatically drop down to apply more.
If your cabin loses pressure, I will automatically drop down to apply more. Oh, baby. Baby.
I'm a little warm for Prince right now after
I
that.
was
Yeah.
curling my toes. It's just so good. It gives a very like sexy jazz lounge singer.
Yeah.
Or like cruise ship.
It like borders audio porn.
Yes, a little bit. Yes, a little bit. But with a bit of doo-wop. Perhaps.
A little
Wow.
6'8", little like
Step.
yeah.
Touch.
This
Step.
also
Touch.
it was nominated for a Grammy, which I think is so
Oh, I didn't know
interesting.
that.
Yeah.
Just this song?
Yeah.
Work.
And like it doesn't fully make sense to me given the landscape of the Grammys and, you know,
Yeah.
the modern era, but I'm glad it was. It's an incredible song. But given the fact that MTV wouldn't play some of his music videos because they were too quote unquote sexual, like why was this nominated for a Grammy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it is so quintessentially Prince.
so.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just so fun to listen to. I think I wrote down that I want to see like a drag king rendition of this
Yeah.
so badly. I don't do drag, but hey, if you're listening and you do,
That one's for free.
baby, put on a uniform.
Yeah.
Put on that sparkly purple trench coat and
Please
Yeah.
put on that little hat, like in the bondage video. Perhaps. And I'll tip you. I'll bring singles. I've got no problem.
Yeah, this was a B-side for Little Red Corvette on some of the 45s.
Oh,
And I think
work.
that's so like I want that 45. I want
What
it
a
really bad.
Sexy 45.
Yeah.
My God.
wow. Yeah, Prince so you'd think that his music would be good for a sex playlist
Yeah.
until you put it on your sex playlist
It's
and
a
you
little too
realize
silly.
that this song is too silly.
Yes. Wait, you guys don't pretend to be a pilot during sex?
You don't break out like the little peanuts and like the little half glass of 7
I
Up.
have like one of those oxygen masks like in the ceiling. I do a full safety
Oh man,
demonstration.
yeah. You decompressionize your
Yes.
You have a lot more time than I do.
Gotta like do a yawn so your ears pop the right way.
I have like a pamphlet,
Oh, there you go.
like a safety pamphlet. I say, please,
Yeah.
please review the pamphlet.
Give them like a little pin that's got wings on it after.
Oh, cute. That's kind of awesome, actually. Come on, sex props.
Come on.
Anywho, with that, do y'all have any additional thoughts?
Nothing-
International lover?
Nothing other than the fact that I was transported back to the time that I put this on my sex playlist.
Oh, yeah.
And I regretted it.
How magical.
But you should listen to it. It's a great
Absolutely.
song. You should not put it on your sex
Oh,
playlist.
I thought you were saying we should listen to your sex playlist.
I mean, it's a good playlist.
Link in description, maybe.
Yeah.
I think this is a baller outro track.
Yes,
Like, it's
okay.
so sexy. It's so
Yes.
good. It's so silly for number 10 or
You
like
guys
number
should do
11.
a sex playlist pod or like episode.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Sex playlist live show?
We'll review someone's sex
Give
playlist.
Oh
us
my
your
God.
sex
Yeah.
songs. Give us your sex songs. That'd be so fun.
That's a great idea. I'm writing it down.
I actually have started a note of live show ideas, and I am actually going to write that down.
That's a great idea.
Wow.
Wow. Hey, how about
Thank
all
you.
that?
Again, not international lover because it will make you laugh. Because
it's
just Prince.
It's just too silly.
it's too
Giving
silly.
a flight safety announcement.
It's
Yeah.
a good little skit.
It is. I like it. And it's
Yeah.
a fun outro. It leaves you smiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you put this like on repeat, you're fucking blasted in the face with 1999.
Yeah. That's so true.
It's crazy. I think about that. I forget. I think it was when we talked about Avril Lavigne, perhaps. I think was like the first time where I was starting to think of things as like CDs versus like records versus streaming.
Oh yeah, just auto repeats after track 11 of
Right.
Love Shack. Yeah.
Right. Because I saw that this album was originally released as like a 2-disc
Mhm.
LP. So there would be like 2 or 3
Yeah.
songs on each side, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
baller. Like,
Yeah.
but
But-
yeah.
He was like, I have so many songs, I'll narrow it down to 2 discs.
Yeah.
Yeah. You really earn it.
crazy.
You've like flipped so many times
For
before you get to
real.
International Lover. Like,
I read an estimate that he's written like almost 600 songs
God
in
damn
his
it.
life.
wow.
Yeah, it's
So many.
insane.
What percentage of that do you know or do you think have like actually been released?
Well, he's got
'Cause
30
he's got, like,
albums.
Something like that.
He has over 30 albums.
Yeah.
I wrote down he has 39 albums, almost
God
40.
Damn.
And that doesn't include the Vault songs that have been released. That doesn't include the Time and Vanity 6 that he did. The
Dang.
songs he wrote for other people. He wrote songs for Madonna. He wrote songs for, Sinead O'Connor. Other people that I can't remember.
That's amazing.
Like, he was just, like, made to make music, you know?
yeah.
He was a genius.
Yeah.
What year did he pass away?
2016.
16.
Wow, that's so recent.
Yeah, I cried.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I remember about it. I remember
Yeah.
hearing
It's
about
really
it.
sad.
Wow.
It was like so unexpected.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could have wrote another 40 records.
Yeah.
Probably would have. Yeah.
He scored a Batman movie.
Which one?
I don't know. Watch Batman. I've listened to the record. I don't know which
I
movie.
bet it's the hokey ones. Or the sexy ones.
It has a black and
Ooh.
yellow cover.
I bet it's the Tim
By-
Burton ones.
Black and Yellow by who is that? Wiz Khalifa?
No, I mean like it. No.
Oh. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I thought you meant a cover of the song Black and Yellow.
No.
I was like, whoa.
No, that would be cool though.
Interesting.
That's
He
some-
also was like very stringent about who could cover his music. Like Weird Al really wanted to cover a
Yes.
Prince song, and he would not let Weird Al cover a Prince song, even though Weird Al didn't need to technically get his permission because
Yes.
it's like parody law.
Yeah.
He still like respected artists and asked them, and Prince was like, no.
Yeah. It was like a courtesy thing.
Yeah.
You know what? Props to Weird Al for being like, all right,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Weird Al's a real one. What a good
Yeah.
guy. But I do kind of wish that'd have been pretty good though.
A Weird Al Purple Rain would have made you cry so much more.
Purple stain, and it's like about a guy
Oh.
eating grapes.
Oh.
Drinking perp.
Well, what an iconic record we've covered tonight.
Yeah.
Let's take a moment. A, for me to go pee-pee in the potty.
Go pee pee the potty girl.
B, to talk about the Rubrewski that we'd like to award this record. BRB.
So after painstaking deliberation, we have decided that this record deserves the Rubrewski of sexiest apocalypse record because it is simultaneously extremely sexy and talks about how the world has been kind of constantly on the precipice of ending for the past like 70 years.
Woo! Congratulations!
and you should party anyways.
Hey, spin this shit.
Yeah.
It's so good. Listen to it.
Yeah, please do. It was so fun to listen to. Y'all, thank you so much for making it through another sensual episode of Album Reviews. We are, in fact, Album Reviews, and will continue to be Album Reviews, the stickiest music podcast. It says so on stickers that we give out to people, but apparently there was someone who wrote on one of our stickers that said, "Doubt it."
We're the
Being
stickiest. I'll
the
fight you right now. We'll prove it.
Which I think is very hilarious because either A, they are stickier, or B, they haven't listened to this
If you
fucking
know a more
podcast.
sticky podcast, show them to me right now.
Please do. And if you don't know a stickier podcast, baby, give us a rating in your podcast listening platform of choice. Also, we're on the internet. If you want to check out our Twitter or Instagram, it is at Album Reviews. And if you want to take a look at our website, it is www.albumreviews.com. That's how we got to know Kira. She submitted a booking form through our website, and you can do that too. And then you can be on my couch and drink a delicious beverage and talk about music you love. And we have so much fun doing it. Thanks.
A giant big thank you to our editor and singer-songwriter extraordinaire, Cameron Bopp. Go give him a follow at Evil Twitter, at Cambop on Evil Twitter, at Evil Twitter. You're not like actually at Evil Twitter when you're on there.
You're not like outside the building.
Yeah.
Maybe mentally?
Maybe. But go give him some support. He is a audio engineer, and he can make your music sound great. Another big thank you to Kira, aka Madam Reaper, for coming on and reaching out and doing a great episode. Go check her out on the interweb at Madam__Reaper. Go check out her new single, All Right Tonight, in parentheses, this. It's got a great music video accompanied by it. You're going to appreciate it both times you hear it. She's got a new single coming out in May.
Whoop.
More info TBD. Keep your eyes wide peeled on the socials for more info about that. And go check her out April 19th at Book Club. DM for address, because that is a very cool spot. I was just telling Sarah about it off air. It's like a black door. You walk up into like a black room.
Oh, you haven't been there?
I haven't, and I totally, in my mind's eye, was thinking of a different DIY venue I've seen, which now I realize I don't know the name of. I was thinking that was Book Club.
Wait, which one? Where is it?
That's the thing, is I don't know. I've only seen pictures of this
it,
room.
And I had no idea about
It's
it.
it's like a living room, but there's a staircase. That's all I can say about it.
Where did you see pictures of it?
Instagram.
But whose Instagram?
Oh, so many people.
It sounds maybe like my friend Molly's next door neighbor's house.
Perhaps.
I don't
There might have
know.
been a dog there.
It doesn't matter. Come to book club on April
Come to
19th.
Book Club. That's the better venue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say to the folks at home, Kira, before we get out of here?
Just thank you to Prince for existing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I hope you're doing well in virtuoso heaven.
Very that. Well, the last thing we will do before we head out is we will get very, 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 very close to the microphones. And in the same order that we introduced ourselves, we'll say a sweet and tender ASMR style goodbye. I will begin. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
I was not told of this. Goodbye.